Have you ever felt like you're living in a perfectly constructed life, only to find a crack that threatens to shatter everything? That was me, Clara. Married for 10 years to Mark, my college sweetheart, my rock. Our life was a comfortable rhythm of shared jokes, morning coffees, and future plans whispered in the dark. It was, I thought, a love story written in stone. But one ordinary Tuesday, that stone crumbled. Mark was a creature of habit. Wallet, keys, phone, always in the small bowl by the door. But that morning his phone was missing. He was in a frantic rush for a big presentation, so after a quick, fruitless search, he kissed me goodbye and raced out, promising to call from his office line. The house fell silent and a strange sense of unease settled over me. It wasn't like him to be so careless. Started my day tidying up, but my mind kept drifting back to the missing phone. It felt like a loose thread on a perfect sweater. I checked under the sofa cushions for the third time, and that's when my fingers brushed against it, wedged deep between the arm and the seat. Relief washed over me. I picked it up, intending to call him and let him know I'd found it. But as the screen lit up, my thumb froze. It wasn't his usual lock screen, a picture of us on our anniversary. It was a default generic background. A wave of cold dread washed over me. This wasn't his phone. It was identical, the same model, the same case, but it wasn't his. My heart started to pound. Whose phone was this, and where was Mark's? My mind raced. Did he grab someone else's phone by mistake? Maybe a colleague's? But he left straight from home. The questions piled up, each one more unsettling than the last. Driven by a desperate need for answers, I tried a passcode. His birthday? Incorrect. Our anniversary? Incorrect. My birthday? Incorrect. A knot of suspicion tightened in my stomach. Why would he have a second secret phone? Then a thought struck me. So wild and improbable I almost dismissed it. A password I had used years ago for an old email account I'd long since abandoned. A password only one other person in the world had ever known. My fingers trembled as I typed it in. The phone unlocked. My breath caught in my throat. The screen wasn't filled with messages from another woman or evidence of a hidden life I'd feared. It was filled with me. Not the Clara of today, but a younger version. Photos from my early 20s, notes I'd written, drafts of old poems. It was a digital time capsule of a life I had deliberately buried. A life before Mark. I scrolled, my hands shaking. There were emails from a decade ago, conversations with an old friend, Liam. Liam, my best friend, my confidant, the one I'd left behind without a word when I met Mark. Seeing his name felt like a ghost walking through the room. Why was all of this on a secret phone Mark was hiding? It made no sense. Then I saw it, a folder labeled Project Nightingale. My heart stopped. Nightingale was my nickname, a name only Liam had ever called me. I tapped it open, and the world tilted on its axis. Inside were dozens of audio files, voice memos, my voice. They were recordings of my private therapy sessions I had started 6 months ago. After a bout of anxiety I couldn't shake. I had told Mark I was joining a book club. The lie had felt small, necessary. I wasn't ready to talk to him about the strange melancholy that had been shadowing me, the feeling that a piece of myself was missing. I needed to figure it out on my own first. I played the most recent recording. I heard myself talking to my therapist, Dr. Evans. My voice was raw, vulnerable. I was talking about my past, about the creative, impulsive person I used to be. I spoke of a deep, unnamed regret, a sense of having clipped my own wings to fit into the perfect, stable life I now led. I even mentioned Liam, wondering aloud what had become of him, of that fearless part of myself he represented. Listening to my own secrets being played back to me was a violation so profound, I felt dizzy. Mark had been recording me. He had somehow bugged my therapy sessions. The man I trusted with my entire being had been spying on me, listening to my most vulnerable thoughts. The betrayal was a physical blow, knocking the air from my lungs, but the question that screamed in my mind was, why? Why would he do this? I dug deeper into the phone. I found a string of text messages, not from another woman but from a private investigator. Mark had hired someone. To follow me? No, the messages weren't about my whereabouts. They were about finding someone. The PI had sent a recent update. Target located, Liam O'Connell, living in Portland, Oregon. Owns a small bookstore. Attached is his contact information and a recent photo. It all crashed together. The secret phone, my old life, the recordings of my therapy sessions where I spoke of my past, and Liam, the private investigator. Mark wasn't cheating. He was investigating my past. He had heard my deepest unspoken longings, my quiet regrets, and instead of talking to me, he had launched this covert operation. He found the person who represented the life I'd left behind. But what was his plan? To confront me, to use it against me, or something else entirely? The man in the photo looked happy. Older, but the same kind eyes. Seeing him again, even in a picture, stirred something in me. Not romantic love, but a painful nostalgia for the girl I was when I knew him. Just then, my actual phone rang. It was Mark, calling from his office. His voice was normal, cheerful. "Hey, hun, any luck finding my phone?" The casualness of his tone was chilling. I was living in two separate realities. The one where my husband was asking about his lost phone, and the one where I held the evidence of his profound betrayal in my hand. "No," I said, my own voice a stranger's, cold and steady. "No luck. But you know, Mark, I found something else. Something of mine I thought I'd lost a long time ago. We need to talk when you get home." I hung up, the silence of the house no longer empty, but filled with the deafening sound of my own shattered reality. The perfect life was an illusion, and I was about to find out what lay underneath. Thank you so much for watching. This story is a reminder that sometimes the biggest secrets aren't the ones we keep from others, but the ones we keep from ourselves. If you were moved by Clara's story, please hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let me know in the comments what you would do in her situation. See you next time.